Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful like Akim, teaching and preaching this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This Zach Awasap with a branch of GMSLA. Today's lesson, which is in transit, is entitled "The Famine of the Food Stamps." Famine of the food stamps. The Lord willing be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which are the true names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, in the Paleo Hebrew. And as always, the sit downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High, to use the gospel preached. And within the gospel, it speaks about these troubling times that will be happening leading up to Yahweh Shai, which is He whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, glorious second return. Love of many waxing cold, wars and rumors of wars, pestilence, and famine. And famine is a lack of bread and water. And if you've been keeping up with the news, as of late, last month there was a government shutdown, which we're still in the government shutdown, and the fruit of this government shutdown has been layoffs, furloughs, people not getting paid, and SNAP or EBT or food stamps being not available. Right now, we talk about the judgment on the 2/3. We talk about judgment coming on Babylon the Great. We talk about all these sad perils, right? But like we've been saying on the videos, you got brothers and sisters that depend on these programs. Whether it's Section 8, whether it's WIC, whether it's EBT, low-income housing, child care, medical. You got brothers and sisters with ailments. You got sisters that dealt with these pookies, and the nigga just got up and got on. So they need child care, And hey, the prophecies speak about, I'm actually getting, it's in Isaiah 10, verse 20. Give me 1 second. Isaiah, or Yeshaya in the Hebrew, which means He's salvation. He was a Judite, a so-called black man. The Lord showed him all kind of prophecies in regards to the time that he was in, as well as the latter days, which is the time period that we're in. When you go to the 10th chapter of the book of Isaiah, the 20th verse, it says, "And it shall come to pass." That phrase means prophecy. There's going to come a time where this is going to happen. "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel." Now the remnant, you often hear us speak about the elect. You often hear us speak about the Israel, the Most High, the 1/3, the innumerable multitude that's scattered. Okay? The remnant, the chosen. Now all Israel is the chosen of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, but all Israel is not of Israel as it is written. Okay? We talking about those who believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, those that believe in the testimony of Yahweh Shai, those whom the blood of Yahweh Shai, the blood of the Lamb covered when He offered Himself up on that cross. That's who these lessons are for. It says that the remnant of Israel, the elect, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, which Esau Edom, the so-called white man who's in a position of power currently, and he's ruling the earth in wickedness, man. If you can't see that this devil is ruling the earth in wickedness, you got a problem. You're not of the elect. All right, but it's gonna come a time where the remnant is not gonna stay. Now, when you go into this word "stay," the Hebrew word there is sha'ain, which means to lean on, support. The elect isn't going to lean on this system. There's going to come a time where we have to detach from this system. Okay? So this could very well be the beginning phases of certain detachments. Now, we understand that Esau Edom, he wants people to react to this policy so he can push out new policy, right? He wants you to go to Target and crash out. He wants you to go to Walmart and crash out. He wants you to go to the grocery store and crash the fuck out, so he can get it on tape and say, look at these people. Look, we need to set up Palantir. You know, we need to set up this artificial intelligence program so we can identify these people on camera, so we can make these arrests and get these criminals off the streets. You know, more surveillance, more tracking and tracing. We know that's, you know, these devils are playing. We know that that's what you want. You know, and we know that through the spirit. But these programs, you know, they're not going to be here. Now, if you want to participate in these programs, you got to get the digital ID, which we're going to have to get the digital ID. It's not the MOTB. But ultimately, it's going to come a time where in order to have any type of life, in order to buy and sell, you're going to have to submit to the beast. You're going to have to put that technology in your hand, man. So it's going to come a time where the sincere members of the hopeful elect is going to no more stay upon him that smote them. You know? So let's continue reading. It says, no more stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in the truth of truth. So the way you stay upon the Lord is having faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know? So, you know, this is the time to exercise the faith. You know, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, through our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, we've been warned of these difficult times that's coming. We've been told that, look, you know, we can even be off the grid and be as pilgrims upon the earth. You know, that wasn't just something that was sounding cute. They wasn't just bringing that out just because that's a topic to go into on a lesson real quick. You know, men of the Lord was bringing these things out because these things is going to be actually happening in the last days. All right, but there is balance. There is comfort. Let's go to Psalm real quick. Got to be in the Psalms, man. Psalms, a lot of comfort in the Psalms. Psalms 34. I'm going to start at 6. This poor man cried. You know, every brother that's in the faith ain't on no financial level where, you know, they can weather these financial storms and, you know. I mean, we got a body. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord is dealing with the poor, rich in faith. Hold on right quick. I'm pulling up. The Lord is dealing with the poor, rich in faith. So when this poor, as it says here in Psalm 34 and 6, this poor man cried out. He prayed. He made his supplication. He made his complaint unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So bros that's affected by this, you know, the Lord wants you to cry out, pray to him. It says this poor man cried and Yahweh heard him and saved him out of all his troubles, all of them, not some of them. It says, and saved him out of all his troubles. So brothers and sisters that's affected by this, you're going to get delivered out of this situation. The Lord going to make a way for you. Verse 7, the angel of Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. So we got a guardian angels, as they call it. We got a hedge of protection. It's like Job had before Job got visited. This is Psalm 33. Let me see. Psalm 33:18. Behold, the eye of Yahweh, the angels, just like we read in Psalm 34 and 7, is upon them that fear him, the members of the hopeful elect, the remnant that's no longer stand upon Esau. Okay, the eyes, the angels, it got you, bro. Upon them that hope in his mercy, that believe, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. So it's written. You know, the way you have trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is trusting in these writings, man. Which is you trusting in the Lord. You trusting in the word. You trusting in Yahushua. All right. So, yeah, you know, it's a famine of the food stamps. But guess what? The prophecies speak about how the Lord is going to come through for his, man. You got to believe that. So continue to fight that good fight of faith. Just a short transit to my destination. Lord willing, it was comforting and edifying and exhortating to the Lord's select. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, and double honors